Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 159 of the Next Gen Basecast. I am Andy, and I will be your host for this week's podcast. And joining me are the lovely Jonathan Markwell and Matthew Golding. How are we tonight, gents?
You can't say address questions to both of us at once. You have to specify, otherwise we'll just talk over each other.
How are you? How are you, Matt? How are you? You get to go. You get to go first because you weren't a cheeky sod.
Really? That makes a change. I'm very well. I'm happy to finally be at the weekend. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It's been a bit funny weather-wise this week. Certainly today, it's been like up and down with the old rain and the sun. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? This weekend.
That's England, Fear. That's England.
Well, that is true. That is true. Oh, Jonathan, how are you? Are you still alive?
I'm all right, cheeky beaky. I'm all right. Well, yeah. I mean, about half an hour ago, I started coughing up something that felt like quicksand. So it's nice that I can speak freely now. I thought you'd have
Was
to
it like the bit?
editing.
Was it like the bit out of the film Poltergeist 2 where the dad hacks up a demon?
As if I've seen Poltergeist 2, Andrew.
Jesus Christ, Jonathan, you are so uncultured.
Oh yeah, it's a modern classic, is it? I bet it's fucking not. I bet it's shit.
We're gonna have to sort you out, aren't we? Right.
Is this a video game or movies?
What's so good about Poltergeist 2?
Poltergeist 2. It's not as good as Poltergeist, but yeah, it's okay. It's not as bad as Poltergeist 3.
Is it like Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2?
Kinda, I guess. They tried to do weird stuff with the lore in Poltergeist 2, and it didn't quite work. Anyway, digressions as always.
Poltergeist 2 looked like House Party 2. Carry on.
Wow.
Okay.
House Party 2 is
what have
amazing.
we been playing this week? Matthew, are you still on with your PlayStation Classic?
I've not touched that this week, actually. Instead, thanks to Kieran the other week, I downloaded Pokemon Go, and yeah, I've been on that.
So you've been Pokemoning around the local towns and villages. Have you caught much?
Yeah, actually, I've caught a couple hundred already, I think, actually. So I've done quite well.
Very nice.
Yeah, you just see something, think, I'll have that. I've just involved my Pidgey into
and then you catch a Pokemon.
Kyoto. Yeah. Got to catch them all. Yeah. That's about it, to be honest. I've not really touched them. So.
What team are you on? Because I know I think isn't Kieran. I don't know what team Kieran's on.
Do you know what? I did join a team yesterday, and I can't remember what I've joined now.
All I know is that I went for a walk with my missus last weekend to the neighbouring village where Kieran lives. And there's a gym in that village, which Kieran had 10 minutes before we set foot on his turf, placed a Pokemon on, really chuffed with himself. Within seconds, my missus had just destroyed it and claimed the gym for herself. So, yeah, Kieran was not happy with that. He was chuffed with himself, and yeah.
So now he's a bit grumpy.
He was quite crushed. He was quite sad and disappointed at that. It's like, well,
see, Kieran,
Pokemon Go clearly reflects life, doesn't it?
See, he's the world's politest man, so you've got to be careful with Kieran, because I reckon secretly he'll have you.
Jonathan, what have you been playing this week?
Not Pokemon Go. I've been playing.
Okay.
Wolfenstein,
Youngblood. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that because someone talked over you.
This is the most unfair. Last week we had a really good podcast. Well, actually, week before, and everyone was like letting each other talk, and it was so professional. And now I'm on here with you two. It's fucking anarchy.
That's because Dad was here. That's why.
The weather's a bit weird as well. I said this earlier. It's all hot and wet and nasty at the minute, isn't it? And everyone's grouchy and horrible. And yeah. What have you been playing? What have you been doing?
I've been playing Wolfenstein Youngblood, mate.
Youngblood, is that the same as that lad that does like the Rat Rock?
Is this going to be a bad joke?
That Youngblood lad that does like the Rat Rock, he's done some stuff with Travis Barker recently. Is it that?
I'm aware of him. Not very well.
You are.
I think I've heard the name. I couldn't commit to that.
I'm only aware of the tracks that I've heard of his on the Kerrang radio, which I listen to in the morning.
Right. Is that when you're driving in from 2002?
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah. So you've been playing the Wolfensteins. How are you enjoying it? Because you've been streaming it with Ben, haven't you?
It's you know what, it's all right, mate. I know it's got a bit of a slagging, And there are bits. There's plenty about it that annoys me, but it's more. Well, there is some glaring stuff. I've had a few crashes on it. The most recent one, it told me that the game data had corrupted and I had to reinstall the whole thing. So that's not ideal, is it? And I haven't seen anyone else talk about that though. Everyone else has been slagging it off for like usual things like character development and shit like that. Boring stuff.
But not
like
the technical issues.
Yeah, but I've never seen anyone mention technical issues. But I've had quite a few of them. It's been really buggy.
Okay.
I mean, it is good because Bethesda shooting is nice. Machine Works, isn't it? Still, but Bethesda published game, isn't it? The shooting's very lovely and still, but yeah, I'm not sure whether the characters in it are annoying or sort of refreshingly different. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I think they might be annoying.
Okay.
But I'm not certain.
Is it your least favourite of the recent Wolfenstein games?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Not that we're reviewing it, but not that we're reviewing it now.
This is
right
not
here.
Review. But
this is your hot take.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Fine out of 10.
The most applicable review ever. It's fine.
It's fine.
90% of games are fine.
That's sitting on the fence. That is, isn't it?
Just getting honest, really, isn't it? I mean, like, back when Video Gamer was good, right?
Oh,
and,
yeah, very true.
Many years ago, and Jim Trinker was there, and he had. Mate, have you heard recent Video Gamer? Fucking hell! Right.
To be honest with you, I never really listened to much Video Gamers. So.
That is a hard podcast to get through these days. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Video Gamer podcasts, right?
Okay.
So they used to do this thing where they have like a little gopher called Gaffney, a little puppet, review stuff, and he did a review of Fallout 4, and he opened the review by saying some bits of it are good, but some bits are bad. So basically, it's all right. And I was like, that is just like every game review ever. That could be really.
Yeah.
Some bits are good, some bits are bad. Basically, fine.
Let's not delve into it too deep, shall we?
No.
Your mileage may vary. Yeah.
Sometimes some games are probably just that sort of. Why delve into it too much? It's nothing special.
That's what I'm saying.
I think you can apply the same logic that I did because I went to see the new Fast and Furious movie, Hobbs and Shaw, the other night. And my missus asked me what it was like, and I said, how some films are like a delicious 5-course meal that you can invest in mentally, and you get a lot out of them. And some films are like a McDonald's, right? Hobbs and Shaw is basically the kebab of films. You'll enjoy it, but you'll possibly regret it a little bit after you've seen it. And I think some video games are a bit like that, aren't they?
So I'll only like it if I'm drunk.
Quite possibly.
Okay.
But you might be a masochist who enjoys it when you're not drunk. That's a bad analogy.
It leaves an horrible aftertaste.
Roman Reigns is in that Hobbs and Shaw film.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is in Hobbs and Shaw. I didn't know his name, but I recognised him as one of your wrestling men when he came on screen. I was like, he's a wrestling man.
Is he good in it?
Basically, he plays The Rock's brother.
Yeah, I think in real life they are related.
They're cousins, I think. I did have to go and research this.
Yeah. I think it's quite a big family. The older Hanois, or whatever they're called.
Samoan.
No, they're like the last name of like Roman Reigns is.
Oh right. Oh yeah.
Anois or something. I don't know.
Something like that. Why am I talking about wrestling with you?
Because you fucking love it.
You got me talking about it. This is a honey trap.
What do you think about the new NWA TV show, Andrew? Tell me about
that.
I've not got an opinion either way. We've spoken about Kerrang. We've spoken about wrestling.
Hey, look.
I'm not 13 again.
Look, you like Billy Corgan, though, don't you?
God.
I like the Smashing Pumpkins in the 90s. I'm not overly keen on the new output.
I was like 1991 when you were 30.
Well, his new output being NWA, as in not the rap group,
he does do the wrestling now, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
We're getting distracted. We're talking about the wrestling. Stop it.
I'm not distracted.
You need to do.
This is what I came here for, right?
Look,
this is exactly
if you want to do the wrestling, you do your wrestling podcast that you stopped doing.
I never did it.
Did you not? You never.
Well, obviously successful podcast, that one then, wasn't it?
It wasn't a podcast. It was a sidebar for NGV. And there were some great articles, let me tell you. If you go and search for a Vanish Announce Table, you'll find some quality reading material.
Okay, I tell you what. Any listeners who want Jonny to start up his wrestling, whatever it was again, please pitch in and let us know.
I want it.
Otherwise, forever hold your peace.
Yeah. I can guess how many of them will get in touch right now.
Just me and Ben.
Ben's already texting in.
So, what have I been playing this week? Thanks for asking, guys.
We didn't really care, but okay.
No, I know you don't. I've been playing Gears of War this week.
Why?
Which one?
Gears of War 1.
Okay, there we go.
Because Gears 5 is out soon, and Gears of 4, which I believe Jonathan referred to it as many moons ago, it was made free on Xbox Live Gold this month. So I've never actually played a Gears of War game beyond Gears of War. And considering you can pick the entire series up for about $5 in your second-hand shops these days, I thought, well, do you know what? I'll go and get all the old games, and I'll play Gears of 4 on my Xbox One. And yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's a fine game, isn't it? Did either of you play Gears of War when it first came out?
I did, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, back in the days when I used to have an Xbox, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing game, yeah, I'll give you that. I did love it.
I mean, yeah. It's aged remarkably well, actually. The controls still feel sort of fairly responsive, although it's the cover mechanics have obviously been surpassed by other games now. But it's short enough that you can just sort of blast through it in a few evenings. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'll be moving on to number 2 next. So, and I've also been playing Doom 3 on my Switch, and I've forgotten how terrifying that is.
I never got that far into Doom 3, you know.
It's a scary ass game. It's the one with the flashlight.
Yeah, I know which one it is. Yeah, I played it for a bit and I was like, this isn't what I wanted.
Did you get them all, Jonny?
No, mate, no, I haven't. Actually, I haven't got any of them yet, which is ridiculous.
Oh, okay, I thought you bought.
Well, I've been playing Wolfenstein, haven't I? So,
true, yeah.
I'm a one game man, really. I can't multitask.
Why not? When it comes to gaming, you should be able to.
No, I like focusing on something, you know.
Fair enough. We'll let you off.
How's it run on Switch then?
It runs all right on Switch. It's been a bit framey in places, but it generally runs quite well. They've toned down a lot of the lighting effects. You don't tend to get as much of the shadows on the walls and stuff like that. And that is actually something you can turn on and off if you don't want it there at all on the Switch, and it actually does improve the frame rate a bit. But yeah, it's Doom 3 on the Switch. It's the BFG edition that came out on the 360 and the PS3. It's got all of it's got all the bonus content, and it's got all the quality of life updates, like the shoulder-mounted gun, so you don't have to lower your weapon. Sorry, the shoulder-mounted torch, so you don't have to lower your weapon to get your torch out, which you did in the original PC release of Doom 3. Which I think is what I played and got about 2 levels into it and was like, nope, no thank you, because I don't like the idea of lowering my gun when something's trying to eat my face off, just so I can see it. So yeah, I've got about a couple of hours into it now, so it's I'm sort of opening up areas that I've not seen before, and yeah, it's good. It's nice to have it on portable, so I can just sort of take it with me wherever I want. I can, take it into the bathroom with me if I need a little bit of encouragement.
Does that help you? Is it like fiber to you?
It's terrifying.
Okay.
It's a terrifying game. So,
Do you know, I get too distracted with things like that, and then I end up sort of, why have I been an hour in the bathroom?
Well, Matthew, when you get your Switch, this is your future.
I'm still contemplating whether to get it now or wait until the better one with the better battery comes.
Matthew, you say, why have you been an hour in the bathroom? I know why. I've seen your diet, mate.
What? What's my diet?
All that beer, son. It's not going to do you any good.
Fair enough.
Anyway, shall we move on to the news? As we do.
I suppose we should do, really, shouldn't we? But do you want to?
What's been happening in video games? So Death Stranding, that game from your man Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
Ben likes him, doesn't he?
Ben can't his opinion, though, can you really? He's got bad opinions on stuff, man.
What's your opinion on Hideo Kojima games?
Do you know what? I've said this many times on record before, right? But like the original Star Wars trilogy,
Yes.
people like it, don't they?
Yeah.
Are you going to say something that I'm going to take offence at?
Yeah, I'm
listen,
getting worried
right?
now.
No, I'm saying
Go on,
people
Fern.
like it, and people think
Be
George
careful.
Lucas was behind that, right? But actually, George Lucas had a lot of people around him who were like giving him ideas and like sort of reining him in a bit, right? And that's why it's good.
George Lucas was terrible. Is a terrible director.
Andrew,
Yeah.
Stop speaking, right?
Okay.
So basically, when he got let loose on the prequel trilogy, people were like, "Oh, he's great, George Lucas." He had no one reining him in, no one like sort of telling him, giving some like little prompts and stuff. He fucking ruined it, right? So Hideo Kojima has now been unleashed on the world like George Lucas was after the original trilogy. He's got no one reining him in. He's been given all the time and money in the world. Could be a fucking nightmare, couldn't it?
It's either going to be, I think, Death Stranding. So basically, this story is that Death Stranding may be going multi-platform. It's been removed from a list of PlayStation exclusives on Sony's website, and fans are, for some reason, worried that it's not going to be a PlayStation exclusive anymore. I mean, this is the mentality we're dealing with video game fans, I guess, isn't it? Is that they're worried that people on other platforms may get to play a game that might be good or might be terrible.
Then buy all platforms.
Yeah, dear God forbid that anybody who owns an Xbox instead of a PlayStation, why they would, I don't know, but there you go, might get to play it as well as them. Yeah, I wouldn't be worried. I'd be like, oh, okay, fine, very good, enjoy, job done. But yeah, I think Death Stranding is going to go. I don't think there's any middle ground on that. It's either going to be the greatest game of the year or it's going to be an absolute mess, isn't it?
I don't think it's going to be the greatest game of the year, because that is what year? And is it next year? It's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's this year, isn't it? It's November, I think, isn't it?
Oh Christ.
Yeah.
I've forgotten all about that. I mean, the best game of the year is Tetris 99, so it's not going to be best game of the year.
Okay.
But I mean, it could be all right, or it could be absolute dog shit. I don't know, because but we sort of know a lot about it, really, do we?
Oh well, it's got Norman Reedus in it, hasn't it? And Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
And I think very fittingly, it's got the film director Nicholas Winding Refn in it as well.
Who's he?
Him what did Drive with Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
and Only God Forgives, which is a mess of a film. Only God Forgives is a bit of a mess. He is basically the Hideo Kojima of films. Lots of very pretentious, very beautiful looking stuff that can sometimes hit the mark really well. Like Drive, I think, is a really good film, but I've seen some of his other stuff, and I like pretentious films. But I came out of Only God Forgives and Valhalla going, what?
But sometimes it's the people behind, so it's like, he did one of those films that was great and the rest of them was a bit shit, let's say. But it's not all him. But the problem with Kojima is he's trying to control it all, though, isn't he?
Oh no, I think they're a good fit for each other, to be honest with you, because they're very similar. They're very similar auteur mentality. But anyway, we're not going to slag them off. They do good stuff. Hideo Kojima does do some good stuff, but good lord, he does need to control himself a bit.
He needs an editor, like this podcast.
He needs an editor. This is a bit rambling this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not got the focus.
Sorry
the laser focus of when me and Kieran.
We've not. It's been a funny old week, and that's probably right. It's been a funny old week in video games, anyway, isn't it? There's been a few good segue. There's been a few duff things going on in our hobby, and kind of moving on to the community in general being a bit terrible. Did we see the Ooblets fiasco?
I've got a vague understanding of it. There was a game. It's going on Epic Store. There were death threats.
Yeah,
that's all I've really got.
Okay. So Ooblets is being developed by a two-person. I think they're a husband and wife development team.
Oh, adorable.
And they've been developing it as an indie title for a few years now, and they've had some Patreon support, and they've sort of built up their own little community around the game that they're developing. And they announced last week that Epic had given them a fuck ton of money to make it an Epic Store timed exclusive, and to help them finish developing the game. Good story. Here's a load of money. It's going to help you invest in a team to help you finish your game. We're investing in you as people. They probably miscalculated how they announced that to the world, because they put out a blog post basically saying, you guys like Epic Store exclusives, don't you? Hey, you're not man children who cry at anything that's made exclusive to a PC storefront. Hey, guess what? We've been given loads of money by Epic and we're going exclusive. You'll love that, won't you? And yeah, people didn't love it. They kind of didn't like the tone they'd been taken. But if you hacked off something someone said on the internet, what's the first thing that you should never really do? Would you go away and threaten their life? Would you go away and suggest you were going to do things to them?
It wouldn't be on the top of my list. Let's put it that way.
No,
we're all stable, well balanced individuals, apart from Kieran. So yeah,
Kieran's lovely. I won't hear a bad word said about Kieran.
The quiet one, didn't it? Though it's a quiet one. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the internet kind of exploded around this, two-person husband and wife development team, and they ended up with death threats on social media, and of course, there were forums started up on 4chan and Reddit saying how terrible they were. And yeah, it seems like, okay, I get that they probably made a mistake in kind of kicking the hornet's nest. And I think, I said to Kieran in the chat, ironically, it's like running into a neo-Nazi bar and shouting, Hitler was a wanker, and then running out and wondering why everyone's chasing after you. It's like, we know this. We know that the internet's got rather unpleasant people on it, but you kind of don't need to draw attention to it and rile them up, do you? So yeah, but that doesn't excuse death threats. They're never acceptable in any way, shape, or form.
It just shows how pathetic, really, some of the people in the gaming community is.
Yeah. I think this hobby needs a bit of a kick. Really.
Hence, from some more news stories that we've probably got to talk about.
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a depressing week, as I say, because apparently the American president has announced earlier this week that guns don't kill people, video games do. So who knew? Who knew?
I knew because I played Smash Brothers. It makes me very angry.
It makes you angry. So
yes.
Are you suggesting that if Nintendo hadn't published Smash Brothers, then the world would be a better place?
That is the main culprit. No, I look. Okay. Anyone, I'm joking. Don't get mental.
Joking aside, right. Joking. It's humour.
Yes, right.
Lol.
Yeah. Right. Hang on.
There's a lot to unpack here, isn't there?
Right. Hang on.
Let's all have our little say. Go on, Jonny.
Well, I don't even really want to, because I don't think you can say anything more that's not been said already.
Yeah.
No, I'll go anyway. Right. So, I mean, there was quite a lot of violence before video games, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
I think people cause violence.
Yes.
That's basically all I've got to say.
I think people cause violence, but I mean, I think, here's a good point. Here's a good sort of correlation. There are countries in the world other than the USA, believe it or not, folks from America, and they have video games the same way that America has video games. What they don't have is regular mass shooting. So it's almost as if there is something, that there's some correlation between that. There's some other factor at play here.
Yeah.
That kind of contributes to these mass shootings with freely available automatic weapons. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel I'm nearly there.
Do you know what? Sorry, go on.
All I was going to say was, no one needs a gun apart from like the police, the army, and maybe a farmer if they're lucky. I don't know. That's it.
If they're lucky.
No one else is allowed a gun.
Right? I'm so lucky. I've got myself a shotgun.
I mean, they do. Farmers do shoot things. I'm not sure if they should, but they do. Fine, whatever. They only have shotguns though, not like anything like, not not any mass murder weapons. Just a
No
like,
automatic
shotgun.
rifles.
Just a
No.
shotgun. Yeah. No one else is allowed a gun. Those should be the rules, right?
Do you know? And this is the problem. You know, only in what is it, Texas? You don't have to have a license. Nothing. You can freely walk down the street with a gun in your back pocket, and no one batters an eyelid. And yet,
And a copy of Call of Duty in your
I was
hand.
about to say this, but they're saying that the video game that they've been playing is the fucking problem. I'm sorry, but you might get the odd person or 1% of the world that will probably play like a game like GTA and think I can go and do this in real life and play real life GTA. Unfortunately, you will get weirdos that do that. But to sort of say that everything like that happens because video games, no, it's because you're an arsehole who runs a fucking country that allows people to wander around with a shooter in your pocket and think, well, that's okay, everybody can do that.
I want to put to you a hypothetical situation, right?
Okay.
What if, stay with me here, what if, right, after all like the dumb, terrible things he's said and done, what if Trump actually banned like guns? How weird would that be? Because he'd be so conflicted. Because you're like, I mean, he's an arsehole, but he did save a lot of people's lives. So I mean, it won't happen. But I'm
No.
Just saying, what would it be like if he did?
Do you know what? I think it'd shock me because even what one person who's openly said about that they should have weapons.
Mm.
You know, so it's like, why would you go back on? You know, it just shows how much of a shit president you'd be.
I was just thinking earlier about like how weird it would be if that happened. But yeah, anyway.
It would be one of the best things that could happen to that country. But
yeah, it would be. Yeah, genuinely, it would.
Well, I think that they're doing some good things at the minute though, because there was news came through. I think it was earlier today or sort of late last night or something. Obviously, recording this on the Friday before this goes live, so just so you get a sense of time. That Walmart was putting some positive steps into action and removing all references to violence in films and video games. Apparently, they were taking videos down for hunting season from their sporting goods section. They're still leaving the guns on sale.
Yeah, they're not the problem though. The guns aren't the problem.
No,
man.
they're not. They're not.
No,
they're not. They're dealing with the video games and the films and yeah. So that's that.
It is true though, because I play a lot of Mario and I jumped on a turtle last week. So you have to see these things for what they are. Dangerous.
Did the turtle pop out of its shell?
Yeah, and I threw the shell at something else. Yeah.
Where did you see a turtle?
In the street.
Okay.
Yeah, just doing turtle things.
Was it a teenager?
Ninjutsu.
Yeah. Oh
dear.
I don't know.
Right.
It's funny, isn't it? It's like playing Crash Bandicoot. I'm going to go jump on a box.
Well, one of the things you might want to do if you're a fan of space exploration simulators soon is ride the nearest animal that you can find, because that's what people in No Man's Sky are going to get to do soon.
Deviants. What do you mean?
My God.
When the next No Man's Sky update hits next week, 14th of August, it's going to add a bunch of stuff in, as well as some of the online stuff. We talked about this, I think last week, didn't we? About the new No Man's Sky sort of online stuff. But Hello Games have fleshed out some of the things that you can expect to see. So there's going to be a new Nexus where players can travel to interact with each other, to kind of form parties, to go on multiplayer missions, show off their ships and their gear, and also apparently teleport instantly to bases across the galaxy. And there's going to be like sort of specifically highlighted bases, pretty cool bases and things like that people are going to get to go and see. And there's going to be mounts. You're going to be able to get on to creatures and ride them around. And the trailer showed crabs. So giant, not enemy crabs, but giant goody crabs that you can ride on planets. It doesn't sound any more sane when you say it in a calm and collected voice. It's still mad. It sounds mad in a good way. Did you play much of No Man's Sky, Matthew?
I had a little go, and do you know what? I just found it one of the most boring games, and I just disinterested. Yes, admittedly, it was when it first came out, but I've just it just put me off that much. I'm not bothered. Really
That
don't
game's
care.
had a
Yeah,
real
it's-
glow up though, hasn't it?
Say
It
again,
has,
sorry?
yeah.
It had a real glow up.
Yeah, it did. They pretty much changed it, you know.
Yeah.
But I've just you know how sometimes your first experience, just puts it in your brain. You think, no, never again. Not having that. Don't want to. Don't matter what they've done to it. They could change it into a football game for all I care. No Man's Sky, no. Don't.
Well, it's funny you should say that because one of the things that apparently is getting added into this game is electricity and logic gates, which you can use in your structures to add kind of rudimentary computational things. And apparently, one of the things that was demonstrated at Hello Games was a in-game sort of Rocket League style game using the buggies that you can drive around in.
I don't tell John.
With goals and scoring that
Johnny's
they
gonna love
built.
that.
It's one of the best 3 games of all time, isn't it? Rocket League. So
Oh
I
God,
mean,
yeah, we spent hours at night playing that, haven't we?
yeah, so you can't go wrong if you're going to copy a game, copy Rocket League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some interesting stuff coming in there from No Man's Sky. I think Hello Games have done a solid on that. They've taken what was clearly a rush launch, and I still think and a lot of people like to look at Sean Murray and Hello Games and kind of point the finger and wag it a bit at them, but I still think that they were pushed into launching it early by Sony.
Hey, look,
I think Sony wanted that on the PlayStation 4 and they wanted it now, and they didn't filter Sean Murray in his big old mouth.
I think look, people are inherently stupid, right? And will say
Yes.
stupid things and do stupid things.
Yes.
But Sean Murray has, made up for that. He's they've clearly put in the effort to make the game a lot better, to kind of realise the original vision that they had. So I think in terms of that, even though he may have said some dumb things to begin with, he's made up for it. He's fine.
Sean Murray is proof that humans are fallible, but capable of good things.
I mean, yeah, all humans are proof that humans are fallible. But yeah, the second bit maybe not.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the second bit was the caveat. Yeah, we're all terrible, but Sean Murray is proof that there's that glimmer of hope that we can all do right by each other. So what I'm saying is No Man's Sky is a spiritual experience, and we should all be playing it when the thing comes out next week.
Well, look, I'm going to... Oh, it's download next week then. When is it? When is it dropping?
14th of August, I believe.
We'll do a little stream of that, won't we?
We'll do a little stream. We should jump in. We did stream it last time they did the base building stuff, didn't we?
Did we stream that?
And
or was it just a private party?
No, we streamed it, I think.
We streamed that bollocks. Fuck it.
I think we streamed it.
We'll stream anything, won't we?
We will.
Clutching
Where's the quality control on this?
Apart from public toilets, we wouldn't stream public toilets because that is illegal.
Andrew. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a callback. That's not even recent news, so we don't really need to go over that. But apparently, all you get is a snap on the wrist and get to go back on Twitch. So there you go. Anyway.
Was that woman who was mean to a dog a gamer, or was she just a random YouTuber?
Was it a dog or was it a cat that she just didn't she launch it across the room?
Two different ones. No, this is a new
one. I
have
no idea.
No, the old one.
People on Twitch are weird.
Look, the old one was a woman, right? She was playing Apex Legends. She threw the cat over her head. Now the cat's probably fine. Yeah. Cats, can drop from big heights and stuff. It's fine. But it's not a nice thing to do anyway. Right?
Probably liked it.
But this YouTuber, she the dog was being a bit of a dick because dogs sometimes are. And she kind of hit it and spat at it. And was she a gamer? I can't remember if she was. I don't think she was.
That's not good. That's not nice.
You don't do that.
You don't do that. You bollock it and tell it off.
Her fucking arm off. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was a gamer or not, so we'll skip past that.
Okay, but you shouldn't do that. Don't do that to your dogs, kids.
Be nice.
Don't do it.
Please don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Or they won't be nice to you. So, who's got the NES games on their Switch?
Could not give one single shit, mate. Tell me more.
No, right? Okay, so there's 2 new games coming in at the end of this month.
Yeah.
Random 1 and Random 2.
Random 1 and Random 2. It's a deep dive from the NES catalog, so it's like Nintendo. Come on, it's about time you release some SNES games on there to actually put some recognizable faces on. We're getting Kung Fu Heroes and Vice Project Doom.
Absolute classics, both of them.
No, nothing about either of those games.
Never heard of them, no.
Apparently, Vice Project Doom was quite sort of trend-setting for its time because it had some Force 3D perspective shooting stuff in it.
Right.
Yeah. I'll give it a go. I'll see
It's,
what it's like.
Well, we missed something here. Isn't Mario Tennis Aces free at the moment?
We
We
did
talked
that
about that last
didn't
week.
we?
Did you?
Yeah. You weren't here last week,
I
Jonathan.
listened though. I don't remember that bit really.
And why didn't you remember it? If you listened, you should have remembered it.
I think I was on the bus. I wasn't really paying attention. I was probably just like I was listening, but I was thinking about how much I hate everyone on the bus. That's probably what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because people are inherently terrible, apart
They
from
are.
Sean Murray.
They are, apart from Sean Murray.
Murray's lovely. And Kieran, but we are starting to have suspicions about Kieran.
Let's not talk about Kieran because
We've invoked him 3 times now, so I think
Yeah.
any more, and he's going to go into a rage.
it's like,
fucking Beetlejuice.
it's like I was about to say Beetlejuice, isn't it? He said his name 3 times, and that's it.
Just who dares to summon me? Here in our room.
Is well, do children, sort of like the legend of Kieran? Is this what they do? They look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror
Yeah,
and go,
don't say his name 3 times.
bloody
He'll
Kieran.
appear and be nice to you.
Bloody Kieran. Yeah.
He'll turn up and sing one of his pop smash hits like Budapest or what's the other one that George Ezra sings? Shotgun. Sing one of them.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
This is the joke that you think Kieran looks like George Ezra.
He does look like. Look, you all say Ed
But
Sheeran.
everyone else thinks he looks like Ed Sheeran.
Look, have you seen George Ezra? They're the same person.
Is he the love child of George Ezra and Ed Sheeran?
No, just George Ezra.
Okay.
In George Ezra? No.
not
Ed
dead.
Sheeran's ginger.
Ed Sheeran's ginger, yeah.
Yeah.
Kieran's not really ginger. He's sort
No,
of
he's
like
not.
slightly tinted blonde, I'd say.
I think it's just the wild hair is just matches it.
He looks like George Ezra.
Anyway, music related. We all know we all know our music, don't we?
I've heard of music.
Yes. You are aware of the rock band Kiss?
Rock and or roll music. I'm aware of Kiss.
Rock and or roll music and party every day.
Parties every other day.
Yeah.
Party
Every
at
other
weekends.
At the weekends.
If
They're
you're
a bit
not
older now, aren't they? They probably can't rock and roll all night and party every
Party
day,
at
so-
weekends if you've not got any DIY to do. That's my
Okay.
motto. Yeah.
Anyway, Gene Simmons is the bassist of Kiss, the rock band, is apparently a Pokemon fan. Who knew?
Do you believe him?
I don't know. But
Okay.
apparently there's in the new Pokemon Sword and Shield game, they've revealed a new Pokemon called Obstagoon, which is a evolution of Zigzagoon. Apparently. Obstagoon. Who looks remarkably like Gene Simmons, including having a big long tongue that lolls out. It's obviously makeup, sort of, it's got the sort of markings of Gene Simmons. And Gene Simmons approves. He is like a badger, yeah. Gene Simmons approves. He says, apparently their house has had Pokemon in since its inception. They're all big Pokemon fans. Yeah. And it's nice to see Kiss being referenced by Pokemon. So there you go. Gene Simmons isn't meant to be a very nice person anyway. So, yeah.
Is he not?
Is he not?
Apparently, he can be a bit of a dick, I think. So,
I mean, it's a given, isn't it, really, with a certain kind of... It's more surprising if he was a nice person.
Yeah.
If you heard, this millionaire rock star was really nice, you'd be like, really? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well,
more importantly, okay, so we have said on this podcast before that we are based largely in Lincoln, aren't we?
Yeah.
I did not realise that one of our exports, one of our city's exports, is being immortalised in the new Pokemon game, and that there is a Pokemon that is based on the Lincoln Imp.
Oh.
Yes.
You said sausages.
I was guessing
sausages.
Yes,
there is a Pokemon that's based on sausages.
I thought you were shouting what you want for tea.
Idiot.
No, he said it's based on a popular Lincoln thing. So I was like, what have we got? We've got sausages. We've got a sort of reasonable football team. We've got
cathedral.
A cathedral. We've got a lot of spice.
We've got the Imp.
A lot of legal highs.
The Imp. I mean, the Imp's probably the only anthropomorphic thing that you could sort of list out of those.
Can we not use big words, please?
You can make a big sausage for definite.
A big sausage.
Yeah, with arms
just
and legs.
Just a giant sausage with eyes. Yeah. There's your Pokemon.
There's your Pokemon.
Anyway,
run out of ideas.
Anyway, the Pokemon Impidimp is apparently, and this came out a couple of months ago, but I completely missed this. Is apparently based on the Lincoln Imp.
This is on
because the new. The new Pokemon is set obviously in the UK, and they've also revealed the new baddies, because obviously in each Pokemon game there is a baddie team, isn't there, that you're going up against?
Yeah.
And there is they're called Team Yell, and apparently they are influenced by British football quote unquote fans. So I don't know what our currently participating football person Matthew feels about that. The football fans effectively are the baddies in this game.
Do you know what? I'd probably say because
Yeah, right.
they are. You get a select group in every single sort of football team's fan base are absolute arseholes. Don't care about the actual football. They're more about wanting to have a fight afterwards or before. And yeah, to be honest, you know what? They are the biggest arseholes. You always hear, "Oh, that group have done this." What are you actually gaining for fun for that?
The football fans do ruin football, though, don't they? Because
they do.
Right? Football gets a bad rep, but essentially it is the best sport, right? And apart from wrestling, right? It's
Especially not a sport.
Is wrestling a sport, Jonathan? Is wrestling really a sport?
I mean, amateur wrestling is, yeah. So, right, the thing is, right?
That's wrestling, isn't it?
Will you shut up, Andrew? Anyone can watch football, right, and be like, I know what's going on here, right? That team got to put the ball in that net. That team got to put the ball in that net. It's easy. It's fucking anyone can understand that, right? That's why it's great. But football fans just get in the way, and they have opinions, and they're angry, and they just ruin it. So yeah, so basically, they are the villain. That is right. Make them the villain. Thank you.
Okay.
So not many other sports. Sorry, I keep going on about it. But not any other sports sort of thing can see that. Hold on, no, I'm banned from travelling there. Or some of them can't even leave the country because they've been banned because of football.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's nice. Yeah.
Well, this is it though. It just shows you how pathetic it really is.
Yeah. So you're saying football fans are the heels of the sport?
They ruin the sport, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the sport has its own heels, doesn't it? But they just kind of ruin it. Like, it's a good sport ruined by the people who enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or supposedly enjoy it.
So,
yeah,
Pokemon. There you go. Yeah. Very much so. Pokemon. There we go. That's all the news that we've got time for this week. As we have started a tradition of, we have a little game, and I think, Jonny, this is the first time you've taken part in your game, isn't it?
I created this game. It is my Frankenstein, but I'm yet to play this game, so this could go horribly wrong.
Review.
I'm pretty sure it won't go horribly wrong, Jonny. I'm zilch for 6.
The thing is, Golding is shit at it, so I stand a reasonable chance. But...
Oh, thanks, mate.
Well, let's see. Let's see if Matt can claw a few points back off you this week. So yes, this is the review, in which I will read 3 reviews that will be featured on the website. The verdict panel of the reviews. Anywhere it mentions the name of the game that has been reviewed, it will be blanked out or substituted, and Jonny and Matt have to guess what the game is.
Yeah.
We will potentially give clues. I've tried not to be too obscure, but I do have a history of liking obscure games.
I look forward to guessing fucking Pyong Pang Bang 3 or something.
No, not that kind of
some 80s games. Japanese arcade shit that only 2 people have ever played.
I don't think we've ever reviewed anything like that, so probably not.
It was released on the
anyway.
Sorry.
Jonathan, here's your first one. Okay, are you paying attention?
No, Dad.
You're listening. Okay. A generic puzzle game with very little to offer other than the frustration. Oh, my phone's gone. My phone went into sleep mode. Right, let's start again. A generic puzzle game with very little to offer other than the frustration of repeating sections of the game due to its less than perfect controls.
Oh, was that it?
That was it.
Oh, fucking hell, Andrew. Right. What was that piece of shit you reviewed a few months ago? What was that? Is it that?
It's not one of my reviews.
It's not one of yours?
Whose is it? Oh, can you not tell us that?
Is it that chicken game? Cluck Cluck Bomb or whatever it's called?
No.
Okay.
Cluck Cluck Bomb.
I can't remember what it's called.
It's a Kieran review.
It's Kieran review.
For God's
sake. I know. Shit, I can see in my mind. I can see the picture of the game, the screenshot. I can't remember what the fucking thing's called. He's compared it to something that was quite clever. The comparison he made. Oh, what's it called? I can't look on the website, can I?
Nope. Please don't.
Damn it. I'm never going to know the name of this. No one does.
No.
I know the game you mean, but I don't know what it's called.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
Or is it that?
Okay.
Was it that Vectron. Oh, I can't.
Golding's on it.
It wasn't, but he
Oh.
published that review and then published the review for this one.
Oh,
It was a double whammy from Kieran.
Right.
The game was called Another Site, and it was on the Switch.
I was thinking
and
of the
he gave
Vectron
it.
thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that one. He liked that one. That one was good. He gave it a 4.5.
Ooh.
So
what was that? What was that other one? What Vecton and Vecti? What
Vector
was
Man.
that?
It was some kind. Yeah, it was some kind of rhythm puzzle game on the Switch.
Right. Okay.
I can't remember what it's called.
Have you picked? Are
we'll
these
have a
all
look.
going to be really hard?
No.
Right.
This next one might be.
Sake.
So here we go. The same old quirky RPG in a brand new portable wrapper. This game is as great as it has ever been. First-time players will enjoy exploring the world of Gransys, while seasoned veterans will find a new angle in the easy-to-pick-up Switch format. Well worth the single, double, or triple dip.
Right, something that's come to Switch, an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a JRPG?
Yes and no.
Is it Octopath Traveler? That's not a port,
No.
is it?
It's a Japanese developed RPG, but it's done in the style of a Western RPG.
What?
Thinking of RPG ports recently.
It was one that I reviewed.
One that Andy's reviewed recently.
How recently?
A couple of months back, I think. 2 or 3 months back.
See, I don't really like RPGs, so I wouldn't have paid any attention to that.
No.
Look,
I got Fire Pro Wrestling last week, and I pay zero
good,
attention to wrestling games. It's not.
Do you not like it?
I tried playing Fire Pro Wrestling on the Game Boy Advance once, and I did not get on with it. I traded it straight in.
I think it might be a little bit better now. It's on the Switch.
Anyway, you're getting distracted. What's the game?
See, you've picked two obscure ones, and it's not fair, man. You're not playing properly.
What? Devil May Cry?
Is it? No, it's not RPG, man. Is it part of a series?
It's not, no.
So it's a one-off RPG.
It's a one-off. Fairly sizable RPG. Got a Switch port earlier this year.
All right, big old RPG.
Shall I tell you the publisher? Would that help?
I don't know, will it?
It's Capcom published.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to help, is it?
Capcom RPG.
Yeah.
Sort of Western style.
Yeah.
What'd you give it?
Not a Western game, not like Red Dead Redemption. It's in the style of like a Western.
What did you give it? What score?
I gave it an 8.
8.
And it is a game that I've actually reviewed for the site before when it got reissued on PlayStation 4 2 years ago.
PlayStation 4. So we're looking fairly recent, okay, in terms of the original.
But the original, the original came out on PS3 and Xbox 360.
Oh, really?
So it's a fairly old game.
Right. PS3 RPGs. I don't think we're going to get this.
No, it's Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right, whatever the third one is, can you scrap it and get a one we actually fucking heard of?
I think you've heard of this next one. I picked an easy one. I could have gone really obscure, but hopefully this is easy. Okay.
You think
You're not hosting this again. As a creator of the review, I'm barred.
Can I do my last one before you rant at me?
Yeah, and then you're barred from doing this again, all right?
Okay. Somewhere inside this game, there lies an enjoyable loot shooter. Unfortunately, repetitive mission design, technical issues, and a series of missions midway through that bring the progress to a shuddering halt had me getting more and more frustrated as I went on. I hope I can come back to this in a few months and find it in a better state.
Rage.
No.
Anthem.
Well done.
Hey.
1 point for Jonny. That was a Ben review, and he gave it 6 out of 10.
Generous.
Sounds it.
No, Anthem was all right. It was a bit of a mistake, wasn't it? But it's a good idea. It looks quite.
I like Anthem in principle, but I can't disagree with Ben's review.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Anthem, and I like the mechanics in Anthem. And it's a game that I keep turning on every now and then and going, yeah, I'm having fun with this. And then I realised that I'm not having that bar of dairy milk. I am, in fact, having the bar of off-brand that I picked up from Lidl. That's not as nice and not as satisfying as other games.
You have to be careful at Lidl. You can get some good shit, but you can get some bad shit as well.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
Primark.
probably Poundland would have been a better analogy. Poundland Destiny. Anthem. Poundland Destiny. Discuss.
Poundland is good, but they sell things that aren't a pound, and it really fucks me off.
Yeah, I do. Poundland's very good because I make short films. As you well know.
Yeah.
And for props and stuff like that, their hardware department, where you can go and get like a random Switch or something, not a Nintendo Switch, for £1.
Yeah.
That if you need to stick something on a wall for someone to flick a switch,
Yeah.
it's brilliant. Yeah.
Someone got me a screwdriver from Poundland once, and it blunted after like a minute.
Yeah, they're not great, are they? Stuff like that. Anyway,
and it was endorsed by Tommy Walsh, and I expected better of Tommy Walsh. He's let me down.
Disappointing.
He's let you down.
Very disappointing. No one listening to this podcast will know who Tommy Walsh is. Apart from maybe Ben and some of the other people.
Some of the older listeners.
Yeah. So, Jonny has 1 point.
Right.
After
Can you do another one? But like...
No!
You ruined that
I prepared these in advance. I'm not ruining
Dragon's
it.
Dogma with me and Matthew.
You didn't.
We don't play that
RPG stipulate.
shit.
You did. I could have picked Hollow Knight.
I would have got that probably.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd actually know the game.
We reviewed Hollow Knight.
I wouldn't have. Don't worry.
You got two people who don't fucking touch RPGs, and you went, now they fucking Dragon's Dogma.
I don't mind some RPGs. I like
Sword Art Online.
Oh, fuck off.
See?
Matthew, did you get Sword Art Online to review once?
Yep.
Did you not like it?
Let's put it this way. I got about 3 hours in and I thought, I genuinely don't know what's happened.
What's going on? Who are all these people? What's happening?
I don't know what's going. But it was like Sword Art Online number 56. I'm like, fucking hell, how many has there been?
55 apparently.
And I generally 3 hours in, and I was like, do you know what? I have no fucking clue what's happening. Don't know what's going. Don't even know what I'm supposed to do, and I've got to try and write something about this. This is not going to go well.
What have you played where you've sort of got like an hour in and thought, oh fuck's sake, I've got to play for like another 9 hours? What have you played?
Well, that.
Yeah, Beacon. Tell me, what have you played and thought, oh fuck this?
There was one of the first games I reviewed, which was Risen 4, Risen 3, Risen 3, I think it was. Yeah, that was horrible. After about an hour, I was ready to give up life, I think. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I did get it was like a Minecraft style thing. Can't remember what it was called now.
Oh yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that. I got half an hour in that and thought, you fucking kill me now. This is going to be torture.
So, are you regretting creating Review, Jonathan?
No, I just think I should host it because you were shit at it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so
I've played all of you now, and I've lost everyone because
Golding is like 3-0 down. Yeah.
Jonathan's not happy because I've messed his game up.
You fucking ruined it. This is like when they had that other guy presenting catchphrase who wasn't Roy Walker. It's just like that.
It's just bad. So, are you saying that next week you're going to be doing the review?
I mean, you can't be trusted, clearly.
What did you think to Ben? Did Ben do a good job?
He did a fine job.
Ben did all right.
Yeah. He did all right.
Mine was terrible.
Yours was bad, yeah. Fucking Dragon's Dogma to me and Golding. What were you thinking?
I've never even heard of it.
Do you want me to find you a consolation one on the website? Let me have a look.
That's what I was saying. I was saying do another one.
I know I wasn't going to do it, but now I'm going to do it because I feel guilty. Come on, site. Where are you?
This is Podcast Gold.
Not really.
I don't know when the Podcast Awards are, but we're up for one for sure.
What? Ourselves? So the best podcast is 159.
There's really only been 159 podcasts.
Yeah, apparently this is 159, according to Ben's numbering.
We need to
if it's wrong...
more, mate. From now on, one podcast a day from NGB.
Posts. Right, let's have a look. Older posts. We did Anthem. Yeah, we did Anthem. I'm not going to do any of your reviews because you'll just get that too easy. Oh, I could do so many obscure ones. I know what
So,
I'm going to do.
Andrew,
While it's a whole lot of fun, this game doesn't really play with the classic arcade games formula, but then it doesn't really need to. Priced cheap enough for an impulse purchase with plenty of replayability in score, attack, and panic mode, this game is worth picking up for fans and those who are curious alike.
that Street Fighter most recent one.
No.
Shit. So go again.
Okay. It's one of mine. I gave it an 8.
Oh,
Right.
In fact, it was our first review of this year. While it's a whole lot of fun, this game doesn't really play with the classic arcade games formula, but then it doesn't really need to. Priced cheap enough for an impulse purchase with plenty of replayability in score, attack, and panic mode, this game is worth picking up for fans and those who are curious alike.
That Capcom
Pang.
bundle.
Well done, Matthew! Did you look it up?
I've not got the website on, thankfully. I've got football. No, shh.
Yes, it was Pang Adventures.
He's got his first point in the bag. Well done, Matthew.
Right, quick, do another one. It's a draw.
Nah, we'll keep
No,
this
we
one
did a
neck and neck.
tiebreaker.
1 point each. 1 point each.
Look,
We
there
did
you
a
go.
tiebreaker, mate.
Leave me alone. This
You
is
need
the
a
first time
I've
actually answered a question correctly. So come on.
You're making a mockery of this game, Jonathan.
Andrew, I invented this game. Do a tiebreaker.
After listeners have turned off by now.
I turned off, mate.
I was never turned on.
A simple, stylish, and sophisticated rhythm game that suits the Nintendo Switch to a T.
Luigi.
No.
No.
Crypt of the Necro Dancer.
No.
Bollocks. Cadence of Hyrule.
No.
We didn't review that, did we?
No, we didn't.
Rhythm games on the Switch. Rhythm games on the Switch. Give
Shall
me
we-
a developer.
Give you a developer.
Yeah,
Ludopium.
that doesn't help.
Okay, do you want a reviewer?
Hang on. Is it Lumines?
No.
Shit.
Who reviewed it?
Kieran.
No, of course he fucking has.
Vectron.
Yes, well done.
Theo, I said that earlier.
You're not in the right place, though.
It wasn't in the context of a question, though, was it?
Oh, fuck off.
So there we go. So apparently Jonathan's won that one, but I think there was a little bit of swindling going on at the end.
Right.
Okay, so shout up in the comments if you think Jonny is twisting the rules of his own game to his own nefarious ends, and if he should just basically just be allowed to present it going forwards because now no one else wants to, because he'll get cross and cry.
This game is FIFA, and I'm Sepp Blatter. I'm the corrupt leader of this shit. Right.
Okay. So you're the corrupt one. Are you secretly in charge of this whole organization?
I'm the Vince McMahon to this to reviews WWE. I'm running this shit.
I'm the
Okay.
Stone Cold Stephen Austin.
Stephen Austin.
Stephen Austin.
I didn't mean to say that. I sort of swallowed at the same time.
I love Stephen Austin.
And
Even I
came
think that's
out.
hilarious.
That's his Sunday name.
That's his.
Stone
That's
Cold
his.
Stephen.
That's his thingy name on the program that he has.
That's what his mum calls him. Stephen.
Stephen?
Was
Oh,
it the-
Mum, I told you not to call me that. It's Stone Cold.
Yeah,
Stephen Williams, you know.
God damn you, Mum.
Williams?
His last name's Williams.
Stephen Williams.
Yeah, but he was going to be called.
It doesn't
that when he
actually
started
inspire
wrestling, right?
fear, does it?
Well, that's his real name. I mean, Andrew Beacon's either. But there's already a wrestler called Steve Williams, so we had to change it. So the promoter was like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Austin." He's like, "Well, now you're called Steve Austin, then, aren't you?" So there you go. That's how he got his name, Steve Austin. And the Stone Cold bit, right? He was trying to think of a new name, a new like character, right? and he liked the idea of like coldness and shit, and he couldn't think of anything. And WWE sent him loads of like really bad ideas, and one of the ideas sent him was Chili McFreeze as a name. Great, right? Right. But then like his wife came, put his tea on the table, and said like, "Have your tea, or it'll be stone cold." And he went, "Hello, that's my name, Stone Cold Steve Austin." Good fact.
Did he throw his dinner at his wife then after that?
No, his tea, like his cup of tea.
That's another thing though, isn't it?
What?
Didn't he get into trouble for that sort of thing?
He did, yeah.
For that sort of antics, yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are inherently terrible, as we've established. Unless
it's not Royal
Sean Murray or Kieran.
Yeah.
Oh,
and on that note, I think it's probably a good idea that we tie up this rambling mess of a podcast.
It's been awful, hasn't it?
And on that note, we will see you next week, where it will actually be the 160th. So, potential landmark podcast. So, let's see if Ben's got anything interesting that he wants to do.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds potentially terrifying. Maybe we can invoke Kieran.
Do you know what?
Say his name 3 times into a mirror.
Andrew, say bye.
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 We'll go now. Bye.
Bye.